Good afternoon. How are you? Well, it's about 49ish, so it's reasonable. I spent the day on cases, and I had an interesting discussion about gun safety on an initiative we're trying to put together. And I'll let you know how that goes when we move down the road. I think it's pretty interesting that another house has collapsed into the ocean on the Outer Banks in a small North Carolina community. And I've told my friends, rent, don't buy. Because it's been pretty aggressive how the sea has been rising, causing the loss of frontage. But I'll attach a picture of the house that most recently has joined several others that have fallen. There's a story about a very special kind of surgery, a skull surgery. Now, what could be so special in this day and age when every kind of imaginable surgery probably has occurred with the skull? Well, this involves a found skull, which is 3,500 years old, and they found the markings that suggest that there was surgery. So I wonder what medical school they went to in those days. I suppose it was, self-taught. They studied the cadavers themselves. It's pretty interesting. Unfortunately, I can't imagine how there'd be much of a follow-up to something like that. Oh yeah, while we're talking about conservation and so forth, the Biden White House, through its Interior Department, is going to limit is going to eliminate a land swap that allowed there to be a highway in Alaska, which came up during the Trump administration. They made the swap. This is what they do. They buy us off with little things. See, the good thing we did, and it was Trump and it was the land. Yeah, but what about the other stuff you're doing? This stuff does not come back. And this is a long time ago, but when I was in law school, I worked for a summer at the Administrative Conference of the United States under the direction of one of the finest men I've ever known at law, Harvey Goldschmidt. And he was an expert on administrative law. And the study was the effect of impact statements and the Administrative Procedure Act. And it was about the pipeline that they wanted to put in across Alaska. And that was fascinating. That was 1971. 1971 till now, and Alaska is now going to be ravaged by these assholes who don't give a damn about the environment and what's going to happen 20 years from now. It's a shame, but it's true. And that is the hard part. One of our favorite correspondents on Fox TV, who took edits from the movies, if you will, the videos that tracks what happened on January the 6th. Well, they're trying to use those to throw out the convictions of the Proud Boys. Isn't that something? So, Carlson, there he is again. Terrific. Then we have, let's see what else. The judge in Texas, and I don't think he's decided yet, but by the time you hear this, maybe he has, whether or not an abortion drug that's been used for 2 decades, 20 years or more, he's not so sure it was vetted properly, and he's thinking about stopping it. Now, this judge is a Trumpophile. It's interesting, Trumpophile. And he was a Trump appointee to the bench, and so it shouldn't surprise us that the law is less important than this guy's fanatical fantasies and delusions and misstatements of the record. And that's the best I can say about this judge. DeSantis seems to have decided to go full jacket and decide he's with Putin in the conflict with with Ukraine. And you got to wonder how he does that. How does he do that? Maybe what he should do is get an apartment with Snowden and move to Russia. Hadn't considered that before, but that's an idea, and maybe that's suitable to the failure to understand the significance of NATO, our alliance with them, and what's at stake throughout Europe, if we don't make the right decisions about how to handle not just Russia, but China and Korea. And how can we expect a man like this, DeSantis, to be president when he doesn't understand the influences of these foreign powers and how they put us at risk if we don't act? But there it is. All he cares about is finding a stake among people to support him in office. And it's a shame and a disgrace, but it's as true as could be. So those are a couple of things that struck me today. And I'm going to, after I finish this nice walk, I'm going to go back to writing into the wee hours. Maybe with a candle on my desk. So I'm calling you and talking to you from my cathedral of trees, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.